Because if I truly was Dodger Jim, I would be miserable. I would be having a horrible morning. I would not be able to hide it, right? I'm a pro. I'm a Hall of Famer. But if I really were Dodger Jim and wore it on my sleeve, you would know it. If I really were Dodger Jim, I wouldn't even be here right now. If I really were Dodger Jim, we would have a ceremonial burning of Dodger jerseys right here in the studio. If I really were Dodger Jim, I would have packed away the car flags and left for Boulder early. That's how bad that loss was. That's how bad that series was for LA. And it's obviously not going to go unpunished. I mean, I have not seen a Dodger implosion this epic and this disastrous since, let me think for a minute. Last year? That's the real problem here. Like I already said this week, the Dodgers' no-showing in a playoff series is not surprising anymore or anybody. It's actually expected. Right on schedule, right on time, and below not good. And below unacceptable. And this time, it probably is going to cost my guy, Dave Roberts, his job. I'm not calling for his head. I hope it doesn't happen. But even I would have a hard time arguing that it's not justified. Now, I want to be so clear about this. It's not his fault. He's the last person who should take the fall here. They need a fall guy, but he is the last person who should take the fall here. The Dodgers, right? The Dodgers have themselves a fall guy, and they'll pin it on that fall guy. But Doc is not the one who lost the series. Doc is not the one who went and combined 1 for 21 at the plate. No names mentioned. But I'm staring directly at you, Mookie. I'm staring directly at you, Freddie. Love both you cats, but 1 for 21. Or as V in the Fee. And what a miraculous comeback for venereal disease in Menifee. He came in yesterday and he got his original gloss back. V in the Fee. Otherwise today he would be VD in the Fee. But no, he's good. He's back. As V and the Fee refer to them, Fraudy Freeman, Mookie Meat Sweats, and Clayton Chokeshaw. I can't wait to find out what V has to say or send regarding Lance Lynn today. I know this much. Pretty hard to overcome your two best players and the two dudes who carried the team the entire year, managing one hit between them for the entire series, especially when that one hit was a swinging bunt infield single. Way to step it up, fellas. Also hard to overcome your first ballot Hall of Fame starter allowing 6 runs before getting 2 outs in the first inning of the entire series. That's not easy to do. You allowed 6 runs before you got a second out? Yeah, but go ahead and blame Dave Roberts. Blame Dave Roberts for Clayton Kershaw not getting 2 outs. Oh, and it's totally on Doc, too, that Lance Lynn all of a sudden forgot how to pitch in the 3rd inning last night. Either that or all of a sudden he remembered he was Lance Lynn. Or he remembered that he was 36 years old and 270 pounds, Lance Lynn. Oh, and that he led the majors in home runs allowed this season. So was it a surprise to anybody anywhere that this dude would allow 4 bombs in a single inning? To me, that was him limiting the damage. That guy allowing 4 home runs in a single inning was an example of him working out. I was expecting 6 or 7 bombs. Never mind hitting round. I thought all 9 guys would hit bombs that inning. Most importantly, the hell was Lance Lynn doing on the mound in the first place in the most important game of the year? I'm sure Dave Roberts is wondering why the hell that dude was even on the team, let alone starting and being his only starting pitching option to turn to with the entire season on the line. The era on the line. That, to me, is a much bigger problem than the fact that Doc did not run out there and yank his ass before he gave up 4 straight home runs. Doc probably thought, they're coming for me anyway. Let's see how many bombs this guy gives up. It was actually 5 straight home runs when you think about it. Because not 2, not 3, not 4, but actually 5. Because in the middle of that bludgeoning, Gabriel Moreno had a home run overturned and then turned around and sent the next pitch into orbit. It was actually Moreno, not Christian Walker, but you get the point. The point is there were so many balls flying out of the park in the 3rd inning last night that even the legend Bob Costas couldn't keep track of it all. That was a surreal moment, and also that was the end of the series right there, if in fact the series didn't already end in the 1st inning of Game 1. The Dodgers never did get off the mat from that 1st inning, and they sure as hell were never getting up off the mat from 4 straight bombs. Do you know the Dodgers are just the 2nd team ever to win 100 games and not lead for a single inning in the divisional series? It's impossible to even believe. And now what do we have to do? Now we have to sit around and talk about Dave Roberts' future, even if it's the last thing I want to talk about and the last thing we should be talking about. I don't know who needs to hear this, but running Doc is not going to fix the issues here. It's not going to fix the fact that Mookie Betts has been one of the best regular season players over the last 3 years, but has done nothing in the postseason in any of those years. Firing Doc is not going to suddenly bring back depth to the rotation or the bullpen. Getting rid of the manager is not going to bring back Corey Seager or Trey Turner or Cody Bellinger. My point is, the Dodgers might have their fall guy, but pinning it on the fall guy is not going to fix the Dodgers. I understand the bottom line result is unacceptable. I get it. It is. The team won 211 games over the last 2 regular seasons and exactly 1 game in the last 2 postseasons. Someone's getting fired. I get that. I understand that. There has to be consequences for that. I'm just saying, firing that guy is not going to fix these problems. The Dodger failure is not all on Doc. Just like the D-backs' success is not all on Torey Lovullo. However, who's doing a better job right now than my guy Torey? Man, as badly as I feel for Doc, I couldn't be happier for Torey. These are 2 of my favorite guys in all of baseball, really in sports. When Torey came on Radio Row this past February, the notion of his team being in the NLCS seemed utterly absurd. In fact, it seemed like the Diamondbacks were headed straight for last place. Even a month ago, the idea that they would sweep the Dodgers in the postseason after the Dodgers owned them again in the regular season seemed impossible. I mean, they did finish 16 games ahead of them. None of this was supposed to happen, which is why Torey and the culture he built and the buy-in that he has from his team are so incredible. And it's why Torey deserves to celebrate however the hell he wants. It's Torey's world, at least for the next 24 hours, because he informed the world that he's going to be out of commission for the next 24 hours. Nobody deserves it more than you, Torey. He also said that after that last home clinch, he was going to go into that horrifying Chase Field pool. And he did, until about 2 o'clock in the morning. And then he and the team were essentially planning to do the same thing last night. In fact, they might still be in that absolutely disgusting pool right now as we speak. DJ's on it. DJ sent me a picture this morning. Our neighbor and our friend, Dan Heron, who works for the team, she found a picture of him going in that disgusting pool. You know what, though? If you are, good for you. You earn the right to swim in a sewer, if that's what you want to do. Swim with sewer rats, go in that public pool, do whatever the hell you want. Go on a bender, spend the night fully clothed in the grossest looking pool of all time. My pool with the growler back in the day from the kid who took a dump. Can't believe your pool. My current pool with the rats in the grotto. Cannot believe your pool. Because not only did the Diamondbacks accomplish something shocking, they seriously bleeped up the Dodgers and maybe even ended the Doc era of Dodger baseball, and that's brutal. Now, if I really were Dodger Jim, I would be extremely broken up about that right now. If I really were Dodger Jim, I'd be the one going on a bender, but not a happy bender, a sad bender. Not a happy Tory pool party bender. But thankfully, I am not Dodger Jim. I am not a homer, which also means I don't want to hear from you, Frisco fan, or you, Padre fan. Being the last team standing in the West is just as embarrassing and humiliating and unacceptable for you guys as it is for the Dodgers. Y'all got nothing to chirp about. Nothing. This is why the D-backs postseason domination is so amazing. They didn't just get to the NLCS. And yes, I said that. The Arizona Diamondbacks are in the NLCS. But they essentially just humiliated and embarrassed the rest of the West in the process. This was not supposed to be their year. They just don't give a bleep. And they made it their year.
Wasn't our year.
Yes, it is. Oh, credit to Lance Lynn. I got to give him credit for one thing. Being under 3 bills. Credit for that. Oh, credit for 2 things. Credit for getting out of the first. Credit for a third thing. Credit for getting out of the second. But come on. What were the odds, really, of a Dodger pitcher getting out of the 3rd inning in this series? It was only a matter of time before Lance Longball reared his ugly head. And if you're facing the Dodgers, a fight at the bat rack is inevitable.
Inevitable.
And good things that the Diamondbacks did win. You would not want to see Longball in a white undershirt cannonballing into that Chase Field pool. And when Torrey said that he's going on a bender, did he mean he's going on a bender? I want to preface this by saying I love Torrey. Man, I love this dude. He used to come on this show when he played. That's how far back I go with Torrey. I love Torrey. However, I do want to question one thing. Did he mean he was going on a bender, or did he mean he's going to get bacteria?
I'm going to go on a bender.
I don't know. I'm not in any way trying to be that guy with my nose up, but I'm not a huge fan of public pools. I'm not even a huge fan of my own private pool. Not when I see kids dropping logs in it and rats floating around in it.
Private.
Like, I want you and the Diamondbacks ready for R. Acuna, not E. coli. Or maybe I want you prepping for Trey and Bryce, not parasites and lice.
I'm going to go on a bender.
Well, and baseball nerds, if you're going to score this at home, the teams with the 5 best records in the MLB regular season are 1-12 in the postseason. So go ahead and share that factoid with one of those old, cranky baseball purists and see if they go cardiac arrest right on the spot. 1-12.
Excuse me, Jim.
Don't get anywhere near Alvin. Do it, Alvin. Time to die. This was an actual call to the show recently. Alvin, run that back. A guy who literally could have died on the air, and Alvin produced him up and tried to kill him. Good to have you, Bob. What's up?
And therefore giving him another red stain on that nice, very pretty USC. Excuse me, Jim.
Nurse? Don't get anywhere near Alvin, because that dude is heartless. Alvin went with the flatline sound drop and then chased it with a time to die when Bob in LA could have been dead for all we knew. And dropped the hammer on him. May I hear that one more time? Just so you all know exactly what's going on. This was an actual call, and in the middle of the call, the guy just kind of disappeared. And then Alvin's like, oh, wait a minute. I think this guy's dying. Let's get him. Good to have you, Bob. What's up?
And therefore giving him another red stain on that nice, very pretty USC. Excuse me, Jim.
Don't get anywhere near Alvin. Because that dude. Excuse me, Jim. And then Alvy with the time to die hammer. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And hit the bell to be the first to know when we do upload a new video.